Alright, full disclosure, I really did not know what to think when I went into Before I Wake. Um, I knew I knew the trailers. The trailers were about all I knew about this movie. And I went into this expecting this sort of horror film, really. You know, I mean, it was kind of marketed as one. And it's just not. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's classed as fantasy horror, but it's really a lot more fantasy than horror. Like, kind of a slightly dark fantasy, but uh, just more sad and like emotional than scary. Um, Directed by Mike Flanagan, written by Mike Flanagan and Jeff Howard. Um, it's an interesting film from an artistic perspective because it sort of examines the idea of dreams and the science behind dreams, what we know about dreams, versus dreams as an ethereal state. You know what the mythology about dreams, etc. How some of what we used to think about dreams from a mythological standpoint kind of does tie in with, say, the scientific standpoint. Um, to me, it's an interesting concept. It really is, and they do a good job of kind of explaining how that all meshes together in like the first half of the movie. It's exposition done in the form of therapy. Now, I should probably backtrack a little bit because I'm getting ahead of myself. The basic concept of the movie is that this little boy has the power to make his dreams real. And it's a beautiful, magical thing almost until people find out that he can make his nightmares real as well. And, like, people have been killed by this, um, or implied to have been, and the, um, the, uh, the kid's last foster dad almost shot him. It's literally the opening scene of the movie. Um, it, but on the other hand, I feel like they kind of held back, you know? Like I don't want to say, that they did per se, but it kind of feels like it at times. They definitely pull some punches, and I don't know if it's because they're working with a kid and don't want to go there or what. But this kid can bring his dreams and his nightmares to life. New family who just lost their son agree to take him in. Now, I want to talk about a few things. First of all, the dad, the foster dad, definitely the most likable character in the movie overall, I think, which isn't necessarily a good thing. It's just, I'll explain why that is in a minute. Um, but he, aside from one awkward moment where he's doing some pretty blatant product placement for the Kinect, like it's one thing to say, do you play Xbox or maybe Wii? It's like okay, that's Xbox, that's Wii, they're consoles. But when he brings out the Kinect games, it starts talking about how awesome the Kinect is and what exactly it does and everything. It's like, uh, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like it feels like they tried to put in product placement, but tried to kind of make it seem natural, and it just didn't really work. I don't know. Maybe they didn't even mean it to be product placement, but it came off that way. Um, then you have, but the mom. The mom, to me, see, here's why that's a bad thing. The mom should arguably be one of the most likable characters in the movie, aside from the kid, of course, because the kid's automatically going to get sympathy points. But she is like the co-lead of the story, the other central character. The problem is, she kind of does some, frankly, terrible things in this movie. Like she does, and her quote unquote redemption for all this is a little weak. I will not lie. Um, I can't get into details without spoilers, but when you see the movie, you'll see what I mean. And the way things keep escalating is interesting, but at the same time, I feel like, well, there's a plot twist to this movie. I feel like I got discount Shyamalan, um, because it's something that I saw coming like a mile away. The second I heard what he called it, and the second I saw the thing, you know, and the way it sounded, it was one of those things where it's like you could kind of put two and two together, what's going on, but but yeah, um, I don't really know what to say. The performances, as written, especially, are great. They're very strong. Uh, the Kate Bosworth, Thomas Jane, uh, both play their roles really well. But the kid was pretty good too, although he wasn't given any real heavy lifting to do. The kid was played by Jacob Tremblay, but I mean, I want to like it, and I do love the idea. I am in love with this idea. I just don't think the execution worked near as well as it could have. It started out pretty strong, and then just like a lot of these movies do, it kind of falls apart near the end. Like so much of this stuff starts happening, and then it's like, oh wait, did that actually happen then, or didn't it? Do they remember it happened? If they do remember it happened, how can they possibly deny this is going on anymore? Um, the ending has a bunch of stuff that's semi-ambiguous. Again, I'm trying to avoid spoilers here, but overall, I wanna recommend this movie, but I can't. Like, I feel like you'd kind of be wasting your time with it. Like again, I love the concept, and it has actually been explored in other aspects. Believe it or not, an actually good. Well, it doesn't explore it quite as deep, but something that kind of touches on it from the horror perspective was Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Like, awake, dreaming while awake, waking sleep, or whatever they call it, where you actually experience REM sleep while awake, and you can dream, due to sleep deprivation, that kind of thing. Um, but overall, I'd probably just give it like a 5, maybe a 6. Like, if you want to kind of see what I mean, like, by all means, check it out. Um, and again, I mean, like, I am in love with this concept, and I love I just can't like the film. Not completely. Uh, there are things I can like about it, but the movie overall, it's just kind of weak. And they definitely pulled their punches. Um, at any rate, that is it for tonight, and I will see you guys tomorrow night, where I am going to review Cult of Chucky. Oh boy, this'll be fun. Whew. All right, see you then.